What's up, guys? We are back again with another fun install from Krawler. If I can say anything, at least go on their website and buy one of these shirts. It's like the most comfortable shirt. We used to think the King shock shirts were the most. I think these have them beat. Anyway, so today what we're going to get going on is the front track bar and drag link and tie rod. We again ran out of gas this time, and it's always like Saturday afternoon you run out of stuff. Welding stores closed. Win some, lose some. My fault. So we'll get going on that monstrosity again. But we're gonna get going on that. Thanks for watching. All right, here we go. So we got track bar, tie rod, drag link, a couple tools laid out. This is one of those beginner upgrades that you could do. It doesn't take a lot of tools, and it's pretty simple. A couple bolts, really the set of ratchets or wrenches, torque wrench, sockets, pickle fork, BFH. It's pretty much all you need. We'll walk through when we get down here what's going on, sizing, all that stuff. But yeah, we'll get down there, start getting stuff pulled off. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, I have the PSC ram assist, so I need to pull this bolt. I don't even need to take this off because it's a different size on the new tie rod. 24 impact. And then I'm just going to grab a couple zip ties. To keep this up and out of the way for right now. All right, so pull the cotter key on the castle nut, and then we're going to pull this castle nut off. It is a 21. And then take the castle nut and just thread it back on a couple of threads, so that when we start hammering this, it doesn't fall all the way out, but it'll just drop onto that castle nut. So then you want to take a BFH and start like that, and that vibration will knock it loose. So now we're going to go to the other side, do the same over there. All right, so here we're going to do both tie rod and drag link. We're going to pop those loose. We got the castle nuts out and the cotter keys. So usually, if you straighten those out somewhat, and then you grab them with a side snips and just squeeze, not enough to cut it, but just enough to grip it, and then just start walking it up. But these seem pretty fragile and are really wanting to break. So they should come out like that when you slowly keep spinning them around, but so since they're self-fragile, you can just break the long tips off. Then pull them off. 21 again. Crack that one. So again, just loose hammer. Right. All right, we are all loose. Finish taking the castle nut off of this side. And we'll put the castle nuts back on, because I do have these sold. So then we can keep all the hardware together for them. So now we're going to go back over to the driver's side here to do the Pitman arm. Try to get you guys set. Here. And this would usually be a little easier, because if you were just doing this, you wouldn't necessarily need to, you wouldn't want to put your jack stands where I have them. But I have mine like that because I'm doing the long arm kit and wasn't planning to do all of this right now. So let me get this last one pulled out and we'll be back. All right, so this one is a little trickier to get out than the other one because it's hard to get a hammer on it. So pickle fork, I don't know if you can hear, that's why it's like a tuning fork. So this is where, and I let the person know that's buying these, that this boot might rip. They're replaceable though. So pickle fork, I mean, it's, if you don't know, it's a wedged fork, and then you just like so, and it pops loose. And it's got a little cut in it. Pull the all right, so now we're going to start pulling the track bar. 21 wrench on the backside and 18 on the front side. All right, 22 on the back, 21 on the front. Now we're going to pull up and out of the other side. You can use a pry bar if you want. Oops, sorry about that. All right. It is helpful, I should have mentioned, to use a ratchet strap to kind of keep the axle somewhat where it was. It'll make the track bar come out a lot easier. Now what we are going to do is we're going to get the measurement of all three of these, and we're going to set the new ones the same. Since we're not doing a lift this time, all we're doing is changing. Our lengths need to be the exact same as what they are currently. So I'm going to grab a tape measure, Um, hopefully I don't turn completely gray. Got our anti-seize and Loctite. I've seen a lot of people do these jam nuts and anti-seize differently. Some people will just anti-seize the inner threads and then thread end on. Some put it on just the outside threads, thread it in. Some do both. If you're putting a jam nut on it, you really should use Loctite. They come loose enough with Loctite to not use it. But if you put anti-seize on and you don't get it all the way cleaned off where that jam nut is going, the Loctite's not going to do anything. So I usually just put anti-seize on the inner threads. That way it's coating only the threads that are going in. To each their own. That's just how I do mine. So we're going to start getting these set up. I won't bore you with tape measuring and stuff, but we will go over on the first one. I'll get it put together and just kind of the steps of getting them set up. So let me grab a tape measure. We'll be back. Okay. So we're going to take the anti-seize and how I do mine, I only put it on the inside threads. This stuff will end up everywhere, so have some rags around, or you'll come out looking like the Tin Man. So one of these is going to be a right hand thread, which is this one. The other one will be a left hand thread, and that's so you can adjust the length of this with it on the Jeep. So we got that side started. We're going to do this side. And this tie rod and drag link is kind of cool. It is a solid bar of aluminum. Now, I watched when these first came out and I was like, huh, interesting theory. How are they going to hold up? And from what I've seen, they hold up extremely well. They have memory in them. So as if you hit it on a rock, it gives, and then when you come off said rock, it goes back to where it was. So kind of cool. So now to set these, we are gonna bottom both sides out. Then we'll come back, take our measurement from center to center, and unthread these evenly on both sides to get this set. So let me get these threaded all the way in. All right, so before we get going, I had done a flip on the drag link when I had the stock aluminum knuckles. To do that, you have to drill out the aluminum, the top knuckle here, to 7/8 of an inch. And then I forgot that it came with a sleeve so that you can flip it, put it in. It's still tapered. When I ordered the Reed Racing knuckles, they ask you specifically. So I ordered the top mount, so it comes tapered the correct way, which is great, but I forgot about that. So I thought this was already drilled out to 7/8 and I wasn't gonna have to do it. So now I got to drill these out, and they're not aluminum. So this is going to be a fun little project. So I'm just going to slowly step up, step up, step up. Try not to lose my wrists. Cutting oil. Yeah. So. All right. Let's get this on the road. So I'm just slowly, instead of trying to drill it all at once, slowly I want to flip this around. Okay, we're getting closer. That was 3/4. This is going to be the fun one, because my next size that I have up is the 7/8. 3/4 to 7/8 in one shot.
About halfway through. About 3/4, so it's cutting actually pretty well. Sweet baby Jesus, we did it. All right. So now, get all of this cleaned up, and we'll be ready for some more fun. PSA announcement. We're using cutting oil right next to the rotor. Just in case any splattered. I don't really want to get on an obstacle and only have 3 brakes. All right, now we can get back over to what we were planning on doing. All right, we are setting the track bar now. So this one, only one end on threads, so it doesn't matter about adjusting either way. This one you really want to get set right, for the fact to adjust this once it's in, you have to pull the one end out of its mount to adjust it, where the tie rod and the drag link, because they're dual end with opposite threads, you can adjust them on the vehicle, just loosening the jam nuts. So this one, we are at 33 3/4 is what we need this set at, and right now we are at 33 3/8. So out. $33 5/8. See where we're at now. Bingo, 33 3/4. So now we are gonna back the jam nut down. We're not tightening it, but just to enough to so that it doesn't spin. We will get the Zerk fitting put in now before we get it up in the Jeep. All right, so that one is an 8. I am gonna throw a zip tie back in that end so those standoffs don't go to Never Never Land on that end. So we are going to get this set off to the side. And then we just got the tie rod left. So first, we got to take its fishnet stockings off. See? Fishnets. All right. Set that down. And we're going to grab our ends. And we need to figure out which one goes on which side. Because one is going to be a right-hand thread. And one is going to be a left-hand thread. All right, so this one goes here. Don't let me forget, it's this one. I set it down. It's this one, not this one. This one. Because I'll forget in the next 15 seconds. All right, get our anti-seize in. Grab a towel because it's going to go everywhere. See? It goes. Oh. It was this one, right? Thank you. See, I don't care what people say about you guys. You do good work. All right, I won't bore you threading these in and doing the other side. I will get these both done, match it to the old one, and then we gotta head back south to start getting these ready to go in. We're gonna put these in what I think is the easiest order. We'll go from furthest back in the Jeep forward so that we're not putting things in our way as we move forward. So we will start with the track bar, then the tie rod, and then we'll do the drag link, put the ram clamp on, check everything, make sure we're where we were before we started. We should be good to go. Hold on. Hi, we're back again. All right, track bar. This thing is heavy. Oh my God. Let me grab a file. All right, we're gonna try again. I'll actually bring you guys over here. There. Holy cows. There was obviously a huge difference going from stock to this energy one, and there's nothing wrong with this energy stuff. I've had it on for years, but the weight difference going from tube to Krawler's track bar and arms are solid. There is not a tube. They're solid. So the weight difference, holy smokes. I don't think you're ever gonna have to worry about bending one of those. And if you do, I think you got bigger issues than a bent track bar or a bent arm. Cherry flavor. Not to be consumed. Please don't consume it. All right, now when we go to the other side, this is where, when I said that ratchet strap, for the fact we don't have our steering in, if you were doing just the track bar, you could move the steering or move the axle back and forth a little bit to get things lined up. We have it unhooked right now, obviously. So we may have to use said ratchet strap. We will see. I gotta back that jam nut off just a touch. Golly. Woo! Okay. Track bars in. So now we are going to put this in. So we're going to go to the passenger side. If I can get this nut off. There we go. There you get this side in and just nut started so that it doesn't come crashing down on us. Washer, lock nut. Okay. That was fun. Just for reference, so when I was putting these ends in, I dropped one on this table. That was from like a foot and a half off the table. There's some heft to these parts. So dangling, trying to hold one end up from the other side. All right, those are both started. I'm gonna get the wrenches. We'll get those tightened down. All right, so good thing to just kind of look everything over and checking clearances as you go. So when I was doing the pitman arm, you can see, I don't know if you can see, I'll try to put you this way. There is, if I can get it. I don't know if I can. Everything's in the way. Well, there's a hydraulic line. And that bolt was just rubbing on it. So I just had to loosen the fitting and spin it a little bit to clear. But just good to be checking as you go. All right, so we're getting ready to put the tie rod in. All right, so goes tie rod, and then this anti-wobble piece. Then up and in washer lock nut. Let's run to the other side. Same thing on this side. And then I think those were 22s. 22. And they want 60 to 70 foot-pounds of the Torx. We'll get this started. Okay. So let's set you from 90 down to 60, 70, 70. And to the other side again. Get a lot of back in the fourths. Oh man. Then you forget tools on the other side. All right, there is that. So as far as the install of this stuff goes, we're done. Now comes alignment pieces. I need to put the clamp on. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my alignment pieces, get those put on, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how that stuff goes. All right, so if you haven't seen these, you can find them all over. You get one put on each side, and again, this only works on IFS or solid axle. It does not work on IFS. For the FAC IFS, you have to have the full weight of the vehicle on it. But so then you take 2 tape measures. And then you adjust your tie rod accordingly. So usually, so on a normal vehicle is, I don't know, an 1/8, well, probably a 1/16 is where you want to sit, toe in. And again, you ask 10 people and you'll get 10 different answers. With running 40s, let me spin around here. All right, with running 40s, I usually set to an 1/8 or a hair over toe in, and then rolling mass will pull those out a touch. Some will say more, some say the opposite. You want to. Again, 10 people, 10 different answers. That's how I set mine. So, let's see what we're at here. 74 3/4. And so we are right at an 1/8 of an inch toe in. So we can back the jam nuts off, apply some Loctite, put those in. I think it was like 200, it's a bunch of the foot-pounds. Yeah, I'll double check, but I think it's like 245 foot-pounds. Let's find out. 275 to 325. Mine goes to 250 on my big torque wrench. So let's just say a lot. So I'm gonna get down here and get ready to do Loctite, all the fun stuff on, and we'll come back. I think we can get it. Ugh. All right. One down. 4 to go. Next side. Okay. Oh. Okay, that one's done. All right, we are done. Everything's torn. Okay, sorry if this sounds funny. Phone died, so I'm on a different phone, but we are done. I need to check straightness of steering, but I need a helping hand for that, and the wife isn't feeling well, so I'm not going to bother her today with that. But so till the next one, guys. Appreciate you watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. We'll catch you on the next one.